Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite TV show of all time, which is Gilmore Girls. This is a universally beloved show. Since it's fall time, this is the perfect time of year to cozy up, get your hot chocolate out, and watch Gilmore Girls. I love watching it. I discovered it in middle school, and I was absolutely obsessed with it from the first episode. It's an incredible show, and I'm going to be doing a deep dive into the series and talking about all the elements that make up the wonderful show that is Gilmore Girls. The show is about a mother and daughter duo. They live in the fictional town of Stars Hollow, Connecticut, and they have a really close bond with each other. The two main characters are Lorelai and Rory. Lorelai is the mother, Rory is the daughter. Lorelai had Rory when she was 16 years old. She left a life of security and wealth, and she started her own life when she ran away when she was a teenager. And she built this whole world in Stars Hollow. She runs a very successful inn. She has her own house. All the townspeople love her, and they also adore her perfect daughter, Rory, too. At the start of the show, Rory is 16 years old. She starts out at a public school, but then because she's very smart, she transfers to a very prestigious private school called Chilton. Lorelai was estranged from her parents when she ran away from home at such a young age. However, she goes to her mom and dad's house, which again, they're very well off, they have a lot of money. She goes to her parents and she asks them for money in order to pay for Rory's tuition to go to Chilton. Emily and Richard, who are Rory's grandparents and Lorelai's parents, agree to pay for Rory's schooling as long as Rory and Lorelai agree to have Friday night dinners with them. This entails that they will have family dinners together once a week, and Emily and Richard are now back involved in Rory and Lorelai's life. Now Lorelai has to deal with her parents being intertwined in her life. She usually keeps her Stars Hollow life separate from her original life, but now everything is blended together and Lorelai has to deal with that throughout the course of the series. When Rory starts off at Chilton, it's kind of rocky at first. She's the new kid at school, and she learns very quickly that Chilton is extremely fast-paced and she has to catch up with the other students. Rory falls behind, but because she's very smart, she eventually gets her grades up and she fits in at Chilton eventually. Rory is very quiet, she's more reserved, she is very polite and well-mannered, and Lorelai is the exact opposite of that. They have pretty much opposite personalities, even though they are very close. Lorelai is extremely outgoing, she's very friendly and bubbly, she's upbeat, she's fearless, she takes risks, and Rory is more careful, she's more on the cautious side, and I feel like Lorelai and Rory really balance each other out very well because Lorelai encourages Rory to take more risks, and Rory brings Lorelai back down to earth most of the time. I love the dynamic between these two. This mother-daughter duo is so fun to watch on the screen. Even though that they're opposite in personalities, they are quite close and they have a lot of stuff in common. They watch movies together, they walk around the town together, and they just love spending time with each other. They both watch a lot of movies, they eat a ton of junk food, and they love celebrities. There are a ton of pop culture references within the show, and it makes it so entertaining because this show is from the early 2000s, so all of the references are from that time, and it's so funny. At one point in the show, one of the characters says, "Don't say that or Destiny's Child will break up," and now we know, fast forward, that Beyonce is an incredible solo artist and Destiny's Child is just no more. There's a lot of romance within the show. Rory has many love interests throughout the course of the series. Her first boyfriend is Dean. He is not my favorite boyfriend of Rory's. At the start of the show, Dean is very sweet, he's romantic, he's wholesome, he loves Rory, he absolutely adores her, and he treats her with respect. As the show goes on and there are other boys who become interested in Rory, then Dean gets very possessive and overprotective, he's quite controlling, he's easy to anger, and the way that his character progresses throughout the show isn't great. In season 1, Dean made a perfect first boyfriend for Rory. He was very well-mannered and polite, he really respected Rory and he loved her, but his jealousy just gets worse and worse as the show goes on. Dean is a great character to watch though, because every time he pops up you know that something dramatic is going to happen, there's going to be a conflict, and that's always interesting to watch. Another love interest of Rory's that no one really talks about because I think he's quite an underrated character is Tristan. Tristan goes to Chilton with Rory, which is the private school that they both go to, and he's played by the great Chad Michael Murray. I love Chad Michael Murray. He's so cute, especially in the early 2000s. That was him at his prime. His character is called Tristan. When he's first introduced, he's kind of stuck up. Rory doesn't really like him. But as the show goes on, Rory and Tristan get a lot closer. They're thrown together a lot at that school by doing projects with one another. Plus, they have a lot of the same classes together, and Tristan really likes Rory. He has a huge crush on her, and Rory resists him for a while. The first time that Dean and Rory break up, she goes to a party and she ends up kissing Tristan. However, Tristan never becomes her boyfriend because she quickly gets back together with Dean. I love Tristan. He's so funny. He's very charismatic. He's charming. He's so cute. I just absolutely love Chad Michael Murray. I'm such a fan of his. And the fact that he is such a big character in the early seasons of Gilmore Girls is just amazing to me. Unfortunately, Tristan leaves the show because he books a role on One Tree Hill. So he exits the series. And at that point, we see Jess. We are introduced to Jess, and he is my favorite character. He is the best. I love him. Jess is another one of Rory's love interests. He is first introduced as a bad boy. He's from New York. He doesn't really understand the small town lifestyle, and he has a hard time fitting in at first, but him and Rory really hit it off. They instantly connect, they bond with each other, and they become very good friends. Rory and Jess do end up dating after Rory and Dean break up for the second time. I love them together. They are the best couple on the show. I just love their dynamic between the two. Very cute. They have a lot in common. Rory loves reading, Jess loves reading. He's always carrying a book with him. They're both very smart, and they have great banter between each other. I feel like Jess and Rory should have ended up together in the series finale. That would have been great. There are so many romantic moments between these two, and I love seeing their chemistry on screen together. It's so fun to watch. When Rory goes to college and eventually breaks up with Jess, she meets Logan. Logan is my least favorite of Rory's boyfriends. He's rich, he's stuck up. Although he is cute and he does have a little bit of charisma, I just don't think that he's the best fit for Rory ultimately. He is a good boyfriend to her, but I just am Team Jess all the way. I think Jess was the best option for Rory because they had so much in common and they looked really good together and they just were amazing. Logan is Rory's boyfriend once she goes to college. They date for many years, and he even proposes to her, but she turns down his proposal. At the end of the show, she chooses not to marry him because he's not her soulmate. Jess is. Very passionate about Jess. He is the best character on the show. He's so witty, he's so clever. I just feel like Rory and him were the best match, and they belong together. Those are all of Rory's love interests in the show. Those are the big ones, at least. Moving on to Lorelai's romance in the show. So Lorelai starts off as a single mom. Christopher is Lorelai's baby daddy. He is the guy who she had Rory with. Christopher is Rory's father, and he's not really present in Lorelai's life. He doesn't make a daily appearance. He kind of pops up here and there. He's unreliable, and he's just not the best guy. Christopher is cute and he's bubbly, he's upbeat. Lorelai and him are very similar in personality, but ultimately I don't think that he's the best fit for Lorelai romantically. It is fun to see their on and off relationship because sometimes they date and then sometimes they're just friends, and that's a very entertaining part of the show. When Lorelai originally got pregnant in high school, Christopher asked her to marry him, and she said no. She never wanted to be with Christopher long term. They do get along really well and they have a lot in common. They grew up together and they are fun to watch on screen, but I just feel like ultimately Lorelai belongs with Luke. Luke is the main love interest for Lorelai. He runs the diner in town. Lorelai frequents this diner. She eats there every day. She talks to Luke on a daily basis. He's very helpful. He's always fixing things around the house. He is there for Lorelai when she needs him. He's very supportive, he's loyal. Lorelai is very bubbly and upbeat. Luke is a bit grouchy, but he's a solid guy, and he's perfect for Lorelai because they really balance each other out, and I love seeing them in a scene together because they have amazing chemistry with one another. Also, Luke is the best option for Lorelai. When they do end up dating, it's amazing because their relationship was such a long time coming, and when they finally kiss, it's 4 or 5 seasons in, and it's just incredible. I love Lorelai and Luke together. They're soulmates, they belong with each other. They are the perfect couple. Also, because Luke knows how to fix things, then Lorelai gets free home renovations anytime she wants, and that is amazing. I would love that. She has the best deal in the world. Luke and Lorelai start out as friends, and then as the show progresses, they do end up dating. Lorelai proposes to Luke, he says yes. They never end up marrying each other, but in the series finale of the show, they do end up together, they kiss, and it's a beautiful moment, and I just love them together. Besides Lorelai and Rory, Emily and Richard are 2 major characters of the show. They are, again, Rory's grandparents, and the dynamic between Lorelai and her mom, Emily, is just so funny to watch because they're the complete opposite of one another, and they are so funny together. Lorelai always jokes around, Emily is very serious, so to see them in a scene together is always entertaining. There are many great episodes of the show. Actually, every episode is a good episode of Gilmore Girls if you think about it. One of my favorite episodes is A Tisket and a Tasket. This is when the town puts on this huge event where they auction off picnic baskets made by the residents, and they raise money for a charity. In this episode, Rory is dating Dean, but Jess bids on Rory's basket, which means that she has to have a picnic with him after the auction is over. I love this episode. It's so cute because Jess and Rory have a picnic together by the water. They sit on a dock and they talk about authors together. They love talking about books with each other, and it's just so sweet. It's such a great episode. I love it. Also during this episode, Luke and Lorelai have a picnic together. Lorelai ropes Luke into bidding on her basket. They sit in this pretty gazebo with each other. They eat lunch and they have a nice time. And they have a very sweet moment with each other where they're really just enjoying being with one another, and it's beautiful to watch. Also during this episode, Lorelai's best friend Suki, who works at the inn with her, gets engaged. She is dating Jackson, who is the produce guy for the inn, and Suki and Jackson are really cute together. They have a very healthy relationship, and when Jackson proposes to Suki during this episode, it's really sweet. That is definitely one of my favorite episodes. It's so good. I love watching it, and it's very entertaining. Another big part of the show is the fashion. When I was growing up watching this show, I copied a lot of Lorelai and Rory's outfits because they're very stylish. I love a lot of Lorelai's dresses and Rory's sweaters. They have great style. I particularly love early 2000s fashion, and I just love all the looks in the show. Gilmore Girls is such a good show. It's a staple for me. It's amazing. I love all the characters. It's so comforting to watch. It's very funny. The writing is incredible. The whole cast is amazing. People love watching Gilmore Girls during the fall time, but every season is Gilmore Girls season for me. I've watched every episode multiple times. I know basically every line of every episode. It's my favorite show. It's so fun to watch, and I love it. It is on Netflix if you do feel like streaming it. You won't regret it. You will have a fun time watching this, I guarantee it. Gilmore Girls is my favorite show. It's the best. I would give it 5 out of 5 stars. It's truly amazing. If you're a fan of the show like I am, leave a comment below. We can talk about it together. Who are your favorite characters? What's your favorite episode? If you enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe for more videos. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.